Things aren't as they seem. It all looks fine from a glass screen. When the wall
Hey y'all, it's your good sis Erica Vane back again with another Gossip Girl video. Let's get into episode 6. So the episode opens up in a very weird space. We get to see Obie inside his house, and in this episode we are going to learn more about the parents involved, the ones that we have yet to see. You know, Audrey is back and forth to the hospital with her mom, so some of the ones that we have seen already. But we also start the episode off in a very weird place. Obie and Zoya are not clicking on all cylinders. They are nervous to reach out to one another, feeling a little awkward and strange. And then we also cut over to Julien, who is insta-stalking Obie. Yeah, I don't know if this is going to end well. I ain't gonna lie, y'all, this episode was really good, but it was just so complicated. So even sitting down to think about doing this breakdown, I'm like, yo, what do I attack first? So going back to Obie and Zoya, in this episode we definitely get to see the unraveling of their relationship, and it kind of makes sense that it's unraveling in the way that it did because it came together really quickly. Like, I think that Obie was intrigued by Zoya. He already felt like an outsider and very bored with his current setup in reference to friend circle, relationship, all of that. And Zoya became a very drastic change to shake things up and to pique his interest. However, over the course of the last few episodes, we've definitely seen them be presented with what they felt like was different about each other that they didn't necessarily feel like was alike. And in their initial meeting, it kind of seemed like they were like the same exact person with different economic statuses. But now we're starting to see that they are not the same exact person. Honestly, we're getting to see a clear view of Obie, who is not the prince of like humanity and empathy and all of that and super clean that we would think. Like, he is complicated. He is insecure in spaces. He, while is fighting against certain classist and elitist ideals and capitalistic ideals, he also uses those things and benefits from quite a bit. So he has quite a few blind spots in reference to his life and how he's shown up in his life. So he's not as altruistic as you would think. What's very interesting is in this episode, we get to see him revisit his feelings for Julien, which I thought was coming, but I didn't think was going to come so fast. It's almost like Obie is giving me he can't be single. And now I'm kind of wishing that he, even if he does get out of this relationship with Zoya, which by the end of the episode, he's going to have to do something because he cheats on Zoya with Julien, but he needs to be on his own for a bit so he can figure out who he is. I think he is allowing himself to be frustrated with the identity that he assumes when he's with certain people, whether it's a romantic relationship or a friendship group. And it's like, sir, you need to establish who you are on your own first, and then maybe your identity won't shift so much by how and who you interact with. I definitely can see why Julien is attracted to him now. She's making certain changes to be more meaningful, to use her influence for good and not for trivial or superficial things, which is great. She's becoming more grounded. She's waking up. Her breakup with Obie, as well as the fallout between her and Zoya in the first 4 episodes, really helped her to see herself and to clear up some of the blind spots that she had for how she was operating. And if she really wanted to be a good person, she had to make certain changes, and she's doing those things. So it's clear, like, okay, this is what Obie wanted from the beginning, and he just wanted her to be about more than just the clothes, the bags, and the social power that she can wield however she wanted. But I don't know, I kind of feel like, is the Obie that we currently get good enough for the new Julien? Because she's doing the work, she's addressing certain things within her life, and she's evolving. And has Obie changed? Or is Obie kind of operating like a parasite and going from one host to the next, and then complaining when that host doesn't make his life as happy or fulfilled or meaningful as he wants it to be? Kind of, when you think about it, like looking back, I feel like he jumped onto Zoya's boat because she is very knowledgeable about social issues and humanitarian efforts, and she cares about the world, and she's super intelligent, very intellectual, and he felt like she matched certain ideals or was ahead of him in certain ideals, so that's what he gravitated to. But it's like, sir, when are you going to be what you want to be for yourself? And then whoever you're with or around just adds to it. Yeah, I'm not feeling Obie as much as I was before. At the beginning of the series, I was like, oh yeah, I like Obie. He's probably one of the only kids that I like. And now I'm just like, sir, you're a leech, and I need you to figure it out and stop wallowing around and complaining and woe is me. Like, Obie, you're not the victim. You have two beautiful, amazing girls who are both into you, very, very deeply into you, and want to be able to do life with you. And you're floundering around acting like, woe is me. You're one of the richest people in this whole friend group by way of your parents. You have these two girls who want you. You're super smart. You have nothing to work. Like, figure it out. Figure it out, because you're not the victim, okay? Now, speaking of favorite characters, so while Obie started out being one of my favorites, Obie and Zoya were one of my favorites at the beginning. I am now switching over to Audrey. This is Audrey's episode. The way she is terrorizing these people at this hospital about her mom and her mom's health, it was just absolutely chef's kiss for me. While she's being ridiculous and going OD, she's doing so because she deeply loves her mom, and you can see all of this manifesting all over this episode. She is exhausted, she is snarky, she is sassy, but she is still deeply caring. She is helping Aki navigate his journey through identifying sexually and figuring out what he wants to be, and standing beside him regardless of what he is. Even though she unfortunately outs Aki by accident, she stands beside him, and I was just looking at her all episode like, girl, you better go. You are doing the best that you can, and we love to see it. Now when we get to the end of the episode and this twosome becomes a threesome, I'm just like, I don't know if this is going to end well, but for right now these three are really supporting each other and loving on each other in the best way they know how, and it's positive, so I'm fine with it for now. I didn't speak on this when I was talking about Zoya, Obie, and Julien, but I think that Zoya needs to also address if she is really, really into Obie, or if he's a part of the draw that it was to beat Julien, because part of me feels like, okay, yeah, you were attracted to him initially, but then part of it was also the appeal of taking, not that she intentionally did this, y'all, because this is going to sound bad how I say it, but I can't think of another way to say it. Not that she intentionally took Obie, but there was a certain draw of winning in reference to getting Obie over Julien, especially when they were going back and forth and battling. And I feel like now that she's starting to get to know him a little bit better and see a lot of his shortcomings, she's realizing that he might not actually be a good fit for her either. And I'm hoping that she's not too heartbroken by the events of this episode so that she can move forward quickly, because it ain't that deep. Obie ain't that deep. And then back to my original question, I don't know if Obie is good enough for the new Julien, but we can definitely see that she wants him. Whew, next episode is going to be interesting. Be sure to check out my episode preview, because I'm going to go more into predictions for next week's episode and what I think is going to come. Now let's talk about Kate Keller, honey, because I've been on Kate Keller's head from the very beginning. I absolutely hate that the teachers are Gossip Girl, and I hate that they're giving me all this insecure, ridiculous, lack of confidence, I need a therapist and a friend and maybe a coffee energy. But Kate gives us likability in this episode, but then we are regrounded in, she is spearheading Gossip Girl, and no amount of rules and regulations and plans and pie charts is going to change the fact that you are a digital terrorist, sis. Aside from the fact that she actually gets put on Gossip Girl by one of her colleagues, which I think is absolutely brilliant. I need you to give it up. I don't want you with Nicholas Lott until you give up Gossip Girl. I don't want you to be mentoring Zoya until you give up Gossip Girl. You trying to get intel on Julien and Zoya's mom for why? It's petty and stupid, and you need a life. Go write something. Go do something with yourself. Nicholas definitely deserves to be happy, and clearly he's interested in Kate, and until Kate gives up her digital terrorism, I need her to keep her distance. Now I'm gonna have to call you outside, and I got hands. And before I finish out this video and get off of some of these trifling adults, Rafa, my, how the mighty have fallen. Rafa, what exactly are you doing? Are you really stalking Max? Are you really vying for his attention that much? Was that good? Sir, get it together. You shaking like a stripper. Tighten up. This is absurd. This is more than absurd. This is predator behavior. You are now a pedophile, sir. I can't. Like, what? This is the storyline that is by far starting to piss me off the most, especially now that we don't got Monet running amok, wreaking havoc. Luna is now getting on board with what Julien actually wants. So shout out to my girl Luna. You coming on to the good side, sis. You left the dark side. I'm proud of you. Now, Rafa, I'm on your head because this is ridiculous. You're stalking him. You're sending fake news to Gossip Girl. You're leaking video footage of y'all having, like, what are you doing? Move on. The fact that you preyed on this young boy in the most vulnerable space that he was in after experiencing what he experienced with his dad's fallout, and you go through hell and high water because he decides to walk away to attempt to keep him in your life in a sexual way, you need to go to jail. Rafa needs to go to jail. Where are the handcuffs? Because you need to go to jail. This is absolutely ridiculous, and we hate to see it. I already hated the storyline of the teacher sleeping with the student, but we got it, and now he's taking it to a whole nother level. It's not even just he slept with him, it's like now he's going to stalk him, and I don't know what in the lifetime is going on here, but it needs to stop. All right, y'all, that is my breakdown for episode 6 of Gossip Girl Parent Site. Let me know what you thought about episode 6 in the comment section down below. Be sure to hit the subscribe button, as I'm bringing you new Gossip Girl videos every single week, a few times a week, and you don't want to miss an upload. It's your girl Erica Vane. If you missed any of my Gossip Girl videos thus far, you can check out my Gossip Girl playlist, which is on screen for you right now, as well as 2 suggestions for other series that I think you might like if you are looking for something new to watch. Get into it, and I'll see you in my next video.